Hi, welcome to WatcherDM. I'm Gabriel, and today I'm going to talk to you about Tower of the Spectral Sorceress, our level 4 adventure for Shadowdark RPG. It was written by Austin and myself, and I did all the art in this adventure. It's 16 pages, I think. Yeah, so 16 pages of adventure, which means you can print it in booklet format, and it'll take up 4 sheets. 8 pages back and front. So it makes a nice little staple-bound monster. And the cover here, we've got the tower, the servant Beauregard, and the titular sorceress. We've got a table of contents here that outlines the different areas. So this is kind of our baseline introduction and our random encounters. And then we go into the Isle of Cosima Fantine, the Spectral Sorceress. I'm just going to read you the tag here because I think it's pretty, kind of says a lot. Sorceress Cosima Fantine assembled her coven for that most ancient of wizardly rituals, book club. The literary discussion ended when Cosima unwisely opened the Grimoire Umgula. The resulting necromantic explosion turned the guests into ghosts and Magus Fantine into a spectral sorceress. The remaining spellcasting community is devastated. Such a tragedy! Looting their wealthy rival's sanctum would be unthinkable. That's why they've hired your crawlers to do it for them. The party arrives on the stone beach at midnight. Can they loot the haunted tower before the break of day brings unwanted attention? So, a couple of things we've done here is we've set up the why of the treasure hunting, I think, in a pretty clever way. Also, we've set up why it's at night and why light is still an issue. So you will be using the hour timer mechanism for Shadowdark in this adventure. Stone Beach has got some pretty normie stuff with a sign pointing to 2 different locations, the Rose Garden and the Statue Garden. If the party goes to the Statue Garden, they will encounter a couple of gargoyles. It's worth noting at this point that gargoyles can only be damaged by magical sources, so you better have a caster or you better run. You might want to telegraph that to your party, but these statues do have pearls, so you can get some treasure here. Pearls for eyes. The Rose Garden, on the other hand, holds a garden-like shed, and you can find the crystal rose in the display case, which causes some stuff to happen. A little trap here, and then inside the garden shed, you can also pick up some silver weapons, silver scythes, which you will need to fight some of the undead in this adventure if you don't have any magical weapons. So that's the Rose Garden. And the Cliffside Vista has an invitation to the book club from a crashed witch. You found her broken broomstick. So there's some money. And yeah, climbing is dangerous here. Then we've got the map of the tower. So it's a kind of 5-room, I guess, dungeon, maybe 5 or 6. So we've got an antechamber, then into the first floor with stairs down to the basement. Then you can go up the stairs to the second floor, the third floor, and then finally the attic. So it's a fairly linear dungeon. The antechamber contains Beauregard, the butler, and a bunch of animated objects. So he will attack anyone who doesn't have an invitation. This is something that if the party goes and checks out all the exterior locations, they should have at this point, and he will just let them walk on through. Which I think is kind of a fun way to do OSR, is like, you've completely bypassed this by being kind of thorough. And then we move on to the basement, which is where Beauregard's quarters are. So he has a cot next to a wood stove. There's some treasure in here and a bunch of awful love poems. I would encourage anybody running this adventure to, go download some bad love poetry off the internet and change it up a bit to be about Cosima. And thrill your players with the cringe, because it's good. There's also some rations here, and some salt, and a couple of bottles of wine. Nothing wrong with that. Drinking on the job. The first floor contains the dining hall. This is actually technically where you'll come in. There's a staircase here in the middle, and then a ghost, Sabbatha Jones, notorious gossip and imprisoned house guest. So she is one of the book club members. She was kicked out for not actually reading the book. And so she's been exiled to the dining room. But it's always fun to have a ghostly or a monster that's a gossip. So have her load up with some information. Should, be trivial human information, mundane stuff. So-and-so likes so-and-so. Did you hear so-and-so lost their job because they were XYZ? That kind of stuff. Having a monster that does that is hilarious. So, but she is a ghost. So if she attacks, if they fight, it's going to be a problem. She's immune to morale checks and is only damaged by silver or magical sources, as are all the ghosts in this adventure. She will also attempt to possess PCs and take them to the stone beach through the statue garden, which is her egress. So the party, if they end up getting captured here and taken out there, they'll end up finding that invitation, which is kind of a funny setup. The second floor is the laboratory of a sorceress. So it's got a bunch of books and inscrutable instruments. There is a captive Merilith in a magical circle of salt. There's also some carnivorous books. If they answer the magic mouth wrong, there's a big magic mouth preventing movement to the third floor. And yeah, one of my favorite, honestly, this is one of my favorite things that Austin's written. Walls of spines all holding leaves, locked at night, immune to thieves. Architect's pride and beggar's rest. What am I describing best? Yeah, cool. I think that's a cool riddle. I hope your players enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. There's also some potions here, which are unlabeled. So this is the cool little table for saying, like, they are labeled, but in other languages. So if somebody speaks a certain language, they can read and then know what the effect is, basically. And then if they don't speak those languages, you can just describe what it looks like. It's red and thick, or it's green and fizzy. And that will just be a fun kind of way for them to find out what those mean. Merilith also, big bad. They're pretty rough. But she will try and get freedom for the door password, and she'll betray and eat the party as soon as possible. So, lots of fun there. Third floor, we've got the Grimoire Umgola is open on the table, radiating necromantic energy. And this is kind of a big, boss fight, kind of. So the three ghosts are technically attacking Cosima Fantine. And then two of the ghosts will turn to confront the party. And then she'll have defeated the third ghost by the time the party clears the first two ghosts. If not, it's totally okay for that to go a different way. But if the party beats the other two ghosts, just have her defeat that third ghost so they can deal with her directly. She will try to get the party to kind of give her treasure back and leave. But that's not going to happen very likely, so it is probably going to be a fight. She's a rough customer. She hits pretty hard. But yeah, she does have a book entitled Polyglot's Friend. It counts as an instructor when learning common languages, which is pretty nice in Shadowdark. This is kind of one of the ways to learn skills. And yeah, or otherwise, I think the Spectral Sorceress is a pretty fresh stat block. The Ghost is the standard ghost out of the Shadowdark book. So we tried to kind of use most of the Shadowdark stuff here. Pretty straight. And then in the attic, you've got some gold, a cool wand, and a couple of potions of remove curse that can be used to kind of recover from the stuff that's happened. in the adventure. And then we've got a little blurb here about adjustments and customizations. If you want to make this really hard, you can, or if there's more players than normal, you can kind of boost the monsters. Kind of what this kind of works as, it can be like a hex crawl. You know, if you're playing hex crawl, you can toss this into one of the hexes in an island. In a more narrative campaign, you can put a special book in the tower or something that the PCs need to continue their story in the tower to kind of get them to go in instead of the normal treasure hunting bit. Yeah, again, you need magic or silver weapons, so you can put the garden shed next to the tower if that makes it easier. And groups without priests probably want some way to compensate. And if you want it to be really grim, you might replace the book club with an occult ritual and swap the invitations with cult signet rings. And then, yeah, just have fun with it. Make it your own. I hope you enjoy the art. I know I had a really good time making it. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you will enjoy Tower of the Spectral Sorceress. You can pick it up at WatcherDM.com. You can pick it up over on DriveTru. You can pick it up over on Itch. Or you can pick up the Foundry module at hodpub.com. Hod Publishing did the FoundryVTT module for Tower of the Spectral Sorceress. All those links will be down in the description. If you like this video or you like our adventures, please share, like, subscribe, stuff. And yeah, it really helps us get more eyes on our stuff, which is kind of why we're doing this. So I hope you like it, and I thank you very much for playing. Goodbye!